Khloe Kardashian apparently slapped her no-good cheating ex in the face, and I've got the details on it. You know, a situation is bad when a man hires a Grammy-nominated R&B singer to fix it and still gets slapped, because yes, this actually happened. Khloe Kardashian slapped her cheating ex Tristan Thompson right in the face, and the story behind it is somehow even more uncomfortable than the headline. So picture this: Tristan, a man with more cheating scandals than playoff losses, decides he's going to win Khloe back with a grand romantic gesture. Not therapy, not accountability, not consistency. No, he brings in Giveon to serenade her like they're in a music video. Except Khloe did not sign up for Love and Basketball the musical. This wasn't Valentine's Day, it wasn't a proposal, it wasn't even a hey can we talk moment. Khloe was already irritated with him. And suddenly this man is trying to slide next to her while Giveon is singing his soul out in the background. The audacity was astronomical. And Khloe, well, she snapped. She straight up slapped Tristan Thompson in the face, apparently. Not a dramatic, wind up slap. More like a, don't you dare touch me reflex that, has been loading for years. Years of public embarrassment, years of cheating scandals, years of her looking like the most patient woman alive while he repeatedly fumbled the easiest bag in history. And that's no shade to her. Meanwhile, Giveon just, keeps singing. Imagine being paid to perform and watching a Kardashian relationship implode in real time. But you still, have to hit your notes. So yeah, honestly, professionalism at its best. Khloe immediately grabbed her daughter, True, created a physical barrier between herself and Tristan, and removed herself from the situation, because nothing kills a vibe faster than your ex thinking a live soundtrack will erase his past behavior, right? I mean, this moment wasn't funny because it was violent, but it was funny because it was real. This wasn't staged. This wasn't PR. This was a woman who had reached her limit after being disrespected on a global scale. Let's not forget who we're talking about here. Khloe Kardashian has been dragged through cheating headlines more times than like anyone deserves or been through. Tristan didn't just mess up once, he made a lifestyle choice out of disappointing her. So when he thought a serenade would magically undo years of chaos, that slap was basically like muscle memory. And honestly, the most savage part isn't even the slap, it's that Khloe told the story herself, very calmly, casually, like, yeah, that happened, because she's so past pretending things were ever normal. Tristan probably thought he was doing something romantic. He probably thought he was doing his big one. Khloe saw it for what it was, a performative gesture instead of real change, which is typical. No apology song, no, candlelight vocals, no celebrity crooner can fix a man who refuses to evolve, period. So yeah, he's giving narc energy, and the internet just got another reminder that grand gestures mean absolutely nothing without respect and, honestly, icon behavior. Lamar Odom has been exposed. Khloe Kardashian reveals shocking details in the new documentary on Netflix. If you thought you knew the story of Lamar Odom and Khloe Kardashian, think again, because this new documentary is peeling it back in a way that's honestly a little uncomfortable, to say the least. We're not talking about the polished E-network fairy tale version. This is the messy, behind the scenes, wait, that's why, or that's what's happening version. So according to the documentary, one of the biggest bombshells is Lamar's real motive going into the relationship. And let's just say it wasn't exactly love at first sight the way it was sold to us. The narrative we all watched was whirlwind romance, instant chemistry, Vegas wedding vibes, but behind the scenes, there were other factors at play, including timing, opportunity, and yes, fame. And listen, I'm not saying Khloe wasn't all in, because she clearly was. She was riding hard for that man, defending him like it was a full-time job. But the documentary suggests Lamar may have seen the relationship as more than just emotional. It was strategic too. Being tied to one of the most powerful families in pop culture, I mean, that comes with a lot of perks, attention, and a whole new level of visibility. Now, here's where it gets even messier. Khloe apparently opens up about just how deep Lamar's struggles really went during their marriage, and not the surface level stuff we hear about, in the headlines. We're talking about a lifestyle that was spiraling way faster and way darker than what was publicly known at the time. And she was dealing with it all largely behind closed doors, trying to hold everything together while the world watched their perfect relationship. So imagine trying to play wife, crisis manager, and PR shield all at once. It's exhausting. I mean, it doesn't even begin to cover it. And the documentary doesn't hold back on Lamar either. He admits to cheating a lot. Not just once, not just a mistake, a pattern, multiple women, multiple situations, all while maintaining this public image as Khloe's devoted husband. It's giving double life. It's giving bold. audacious. But what really hits is the contrast, because while he was out here moving reckless, Khloe was apparently going above and beyond to protect him, even covering things up to avoid public humiliation for him, which, let's be honest, is a level of loyalty that most people would not survive emotionally. And then there's the part that makes everything click into place. His downward spiral didn't just affect their relationship, it completely consumed it. The substance dependency issues, the secrecy, the betrayals. It wasn't just cracks in the foundation, it was the whole house collapsing. On screen in the documentary, the former NBA player says, "I had 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks," recalling his 2015 ordeal following his OD. He continued to say, "That's not average SHIT. I was dead for 3 days. I made it though." Khloe recalls on screen that she got a phone call from a woman who told her, "I've been sleeping with your husband." His mistress was freaked out by how messed up he was on these substances. Khloe says, and told her, "I've got to get off of this ride. Can you pick him up?" Khloe said that she was looking for him in alleys, looking for him in motels, adding that he would leave illegal substance, paraphernalia such as spoons and tinfoil around hotel rooms. I mean, she says that she used to go to hotel rooms to clean up after him so that the housekeeping employees didn't sell a story about his using, She said, and I'm paraphrasing, "I was such an enabler without knowing I was an enabler," adding that she felt, a responsibility to cover up her then husband's substance problem to protect him. Now, Lamar was hospitalized for around 4 months following his OD. Khloe recalls that in the beginning when people came to visit, and I quote, she said, "I found out that 3 of them were dealers that were wanting to collect money, rummaging through his personal bags, and now following that incident, she decided to go on lockdown and said that she needed to authorize any visitors." So, when people used to ask, why did Khloe stay so long? I mean, this documentary kind of answers that without saying it outright. I mean, love, loyalty, honestly, probably hope that he'd change, hope that, the man she married would come back. But here's the brutal truth the documentary makes very clear. Sometimes the version of someone you fall in love with isn't the version they actually are long term, and that's the part that stings, because in hindsight, this wasn't just a relationship. It was like a full-blown emotional roller coaster disguised as a fairy tale. And now that we're finally hearing the unfiltered version, it's like, oh, yeah, this makes way more sense. So yeah, if you thought this was just another celebrity breakup story, it's not. It's way deeper, way darker, and honestly, way more real than people expected. I love me a good class action lawsuit, and this one might be right up my alley because apparently Skims is being hit with one. Kim, you in danger, girl. So Kim Kardashian might be having one of those billionaire boss babe weeks where the group chat is suddenly very quiet because Skims is now being dragged into a class action lawsuit, and the internet is already acting like somebody yelled fire in a crowded Sephora. So according to reports, a former employee named David Knight is suing Skims, claiming the company failed to properly pay workers while he worked there from October to December 2025 in California. And the allegations are very messy. We are talking unpaid overtime, missed meal breaks, skipped rest periods, and claims that employees were not fully paid for all hours worked. He is also trying to turn this into a full class action lawsuit, which basically means he believes other workers there experience the exact same thing too. Now, before the Kardashians send Kris Jenner into full crisis management mode with, 6 burner phones and a smoothie in hand, let me be very clear here. These are allegations right now. Nothing has been proven in court. You're innocent until proven guilty. We know this. And Kim Kardashian herself is not personally named as a defendant in the lawsuit. But you already know the internet does not care about legal technicalities. The second people saw the words class action lawsuit and Skims in the same sentence, everybody suddenly became a labor law expert overnight. And honestly, the timing could not be worse because Skims has been on a nonstop winning streak for years. Like, celebrities wear it, influencers worship it. Half the internet acts like putting on a Skims bodysuit will personally fix their taxes and heal childhood trauma. I mean, the brand became so massive that people started treating it less like shapewear and more like a personality trait. Like, who are you if you don't own a pair of Skims, right? But now people online are side-eyeing the whole thing because this is not even the first legal headache tied to Skims this year or the Kardashian-Jenner clan. I mean, Kylie's getting sued by her housekeepers right now. And earlier in 2026, the company also agreed to pay $200,000 to settle allegations involving sales tax issues in New Jersey after officials claimed customers were improperly improperly charged taxes over multiple years. Skims said that situation was caused by a technical error, whatever that means. So now critics online are basically saying, hold on a second, why does this company keep ending up in legal drama? And you know, social media never misses an opportunity to be dramatic. Some people are already posting things like, maybe the real thing getting squeezed here is the employees' paychecks, which real. I mean, this is insane work, you know, and the internet also, this is exactly the type of stuff and comments that go viral, right? Meanwhile, Skims is denying everything, obviously. The company released a statement saying the lawsuit is basically a recycled legal template used by law firms in California hoping for fast settlements, which, you know, I get it. They said they are fully committed to wage and labor law compliance, and they plan to fight the claims in court, of course. And honestly, this could go one of two ways. Either this lawsuit completely fizzles out like Miss Frizzle and Skims moves on like nothing happened while Kim posts another, you know, perfectly beige Instagram photo pretending stress does not exist for her, or this thing somehow snowballs into a much bigger PR nightmare if more employees start coming forward. Because here's the thing, consumers today are way more aware of how companies treat workers behind the scenes, right? People are not just buying products anymore. They're buying into brands and images and lifestyles. So when a company, you know, built on empowerment, confidence, and body positivity gets hit with labor allegations, people are gonna notice, and fast. Also, can we talk about how exhausting it must be to be rich and famous in 2026? I know, first world problems, whatever, but one minute you're selling shapewear, the next minute you are allegedly fighting overtime claims while TikTok detectives make 15-part conspiracy series with, you know, very dramatic music and zoom-ins on your face. Either way, this story is definitely not disappearing anytime soon, and you already know, if this lawsuit gets bigger, the internet is going to feast on it like it is an all-you-can-eat Kardashian buffet. 35 pills a day, that is what Kim Kardashian just admitted, and now the internet is side-eyeing the entire idea of celebrity wellness. So Kim Kardashian just set the internet on fire again, and this time it is not about Skims, a breakup, or some new drama with the family group chat. It is about pills, a lot of them. During a recent appearance on Amy Poehler's podcast, Good Hang, Kim casually dropped that she takes around 35 supplements a day. Not 3, not 10, 35. And she does not even take them all at once. She splits them into 3 different rounds throughout the day, like it is a full-time job just to swallow them all. And she even admitted something that honestly sounds way more human than her usual billionaire wellness, you know, glow. She called it pill fatigue. Basically, she is so overtaking them that she gets mentally drained just looking at the routine. At one point, she even joked she wished that, you know, she could just hook up to an IV drip and call it a day, which is real. But here is where things, you know, start getting a little less glam and a lot more serious. Kim also said she once stopped taking fish oil because she was tired of it, only to get blood work done that basically told her, nope, you actually need to still take it. So she had to start again, which kind of shows how intense her health monitoring is and how quickly these routines can go from wellness flex to something that actually needs medical oversight. Now, the internet did what the internet always did. And, you know, it takes the number 35 pills a day and kind of ran with it. And suddenly it is not just about wellness anymore. It is about organ stress, kidney health, and whether this kind of routine is, you know, actually sustainable long term. And to be clear, medical experts are not saying Kim is about to collapse tomorrow or today or anything dramatic like that, but they are very consistent, you know, on one point, even vitamins and supplements are not harmless just because they are sold over the counter. I mean, your liver and kidneys still have to process every single one. And when you're stacking dozens together daily, especially without tight medical necessity for each one, that is where concern starts to show up over time. Some doctors have even warned that, you know, overdoing supplements can lead to issues like liver strain and kidney stress and nutrient imbalances, not because one vitamin is dangerous, but because the combination and volume can become too much for the body to constantly filter and process. And, you know, that is the tension in this whole story here. On one side, you have Kim Kardashian, arguably one of the most health-obsessed celebrities in the world, right now tracking her blood work, doing body scans, and treating her wellness like a precision project. On the other side, you have a growing wave of people pointing out that this, you know, more is more supplement culture might actually be doing the opposite of what it promises. Because the truth is, most people do not need anywhere near that many pills to be healthy. I mean, for the average person, food first, nutrition, sleep, movement, and stress management still do more heavy lifting than any supplement stack ever will. But, you know, of course, when it is Kim Kardashian, nothing stays simple. Even vitamins turn into a headline. Even I take too many pills, you know, becomes a full-blown internet debate about kidneys longevity and whether wellness, you know, has officially gone too far. And honestly, that might be the real story here. Not that she is sick, not that she is in danger, but that we have reached a point where health in celebrity culture can look so extreme it starts sounding like the thing that might actually make you unhealthy. Are Kim Kardashian and Kendall Jenner fighting over Lewis Hamilton? Let's get into this. So are we seriously watching a Kardashian sister rivalry unfold over a Formula One driver? Because I'm not gonna lie, this plot twist feels random, but also weirdly on brand. So Kim Kardashian has been very publicly, and I mean very publicly, spending time with Lewis Hamilton. We're talking luxury trips, major events, international getaways. This is not giving we're just friends. This is giving soft launch that accidentally turned into a full rollout. They've been spotted together multiple times, walking side by side, smiling, but still technically not confirming anything. You know that celebrity gray area where it's like, we're not dating, but also you're basically in every country together? Yeah. And just when you think it's a cute little unexpected pairing, but here comes the twist, because before Kim stepped into her Formula One era, Kendall Jenner already had history with Lewis. Now, nothing has ever or was ever officially confirmed, but let's not act brand new here. They were linked, they were seen together, they ran in the same circles, and there was definitely enough there for people to connect the dots. It wasn't random. So now fast forward, and Kim is suddenly front row in Lewis Hamilton's life, and insiders are basically saying Kendall is side-eyeing the situation just a little bit. Now, apparently Kendall and Lewis go way back socially, like same events, same elite circle, same vibe. So if she's telling Kim to keep her emotions in check, it's probably coming from somewhere, right? Meanwhile, Kim is acting unbothered. I mean, at least that's how it looks to all of us watching, right? She's out here kind of living her best life, traveling, glowing, bringing him around the world, acting like this is already a thing, even if nobody's officially labeling it. I mean, they even went to the Super Bowl together, right? And honestly, this is all very much Kim. I mean, if she likes you, she's not hiding you. She's just not kind of explaining you to anybody. And the speed of this whole situation, well, that's what's catching people off guard right now, because this didn't just come out of nowhere. They've actually known each other for years. This is more like a long time connection than, you know, that suddenly kind of just flipped into something romantic. And now it's moving fast, which does make it messier, right? Because now you've got a global icon, her supermodel sister, and one of the most famous athletes in the world, all overlapping in a way that just feels a little too close for comfort. And let's be real for a second. I mean, dating someone your sister used to be linked to, you know, it's already questionable, right? But going full international soft launch with him, that's bold and slightly messy. And people are noticing. I mean, something Kendall is just being protective, something she knows, something behind the scenes, and some people are just watching like it's a reality show, because honestly, it kind of is, right? But here's the real question for you all. Is this actually tension between sisters, or is it just one of those situations where the timing is, I don't know, a little too interesting? Because if this keeps escalating the way it is right now, this is either about to turn into a full, undeniable relationship or a very awkward, very public situation.
Has Kim Kardashian decided to remove her BBL? Or is this Ozempic's latest victim? Kim built an entire era of pop culture around her curves. So when whispers started that her BBL might be disappearing, the internet didn't just notice. It lost its mind. This isn't just about body trends. This is Kim Kardashian possibly undoing the very body that made her a billionaire. And the question everyone's asking, is Ozempic to blame? Let's be honest. Kim's body has changed before, many times. But this shift feels different. The exaggerated hourglass, the ultra-projected hips, the cartoon-level curves, all softened. Her frame is leaner, narrower, almost runway thin, more early 2000s than Instagram baddie. And yes, people noticed. Red carpets, paparazzi shots, bikini photos. Suddenly, the curves that launched 1,000 memes looked smaller, flatter, muted. Now, Kim has never confirmed a BBL, but let's not pretend we're idiots. Cosmetic procedures were basically her brand, so the idea she might be undoing it, not shocking. Enter Ozempic, Hollywood's worst kept secret. Originally for diabetes, now a celebrity weight loss miracle. Rapid fat loss, suppressed appetite, shrinking bodies, and Kim right at the center of the chatter. Here's the thing. When you lose weight fast, your body chooses where the fat goes. That includes the fat from a BBL. Even without surgery, it can shrink, flattening the butt and softening the hips. BBL fat isn't magic. Sorry, girls. But wait, there's more. The beauty standard has shifted. The exaggerated BBL, out. Thin, angular, minimal, in. And Kim's always been a trend chameleon. She doesn't just follow, she reinvents herself to stay relevant. So maybe this isn't Ozempic doing the work. Maybe it's a strategic choice. BBL reductions are on the rise. Celebrities are downsizing because their old enhancements no longer fit the aesthetic. Kim's look lately? Clean, severe, ultra slick hair. Neutral tones, luxury minimalism. A giant Instagram famous BBL doesn't fit that brand anymore. And let's be real, controlling your image is her business. If Ozempic helped and she chose not to maintain it, that's not accident, that's power move. So is Ozempic to blame? Possibly. Is she quietly reversing a BBL because trends changed? Also possible. Honestly, it's probably both. What makes this so delicious? The same extreme curves that made her a star are now disappearing. And Kim is walking away like it never existed. Hollywood is ruthless, darling.
Is Kourtney Kardashian trapped in a toxic marriage with Travis Barker? Fans are starting to get deeply concerned. So you think a rock star plus a reality queen equals a fairy tale romance? Yeah, no, think again. Today we're talking about why a lot of people genuinely believe Kourtney Kardashian might be trapped in a toxic marriage with Travis Barker. Let's start with the vibe shift. Kourtney has openly said Travis's lifestyle is very fast and very impulsive, while she's trying to just slow down, be present, and focus on family. Cute in theory, but in practice, I mean, it's giving spiritual like yoga girl accidentally marries a human monster energy drink. Then there's the infamous scene, the 5K run. Kourtney had just had a baby. She was weak, breastfeeding, literally saying she felt like she might pass out or throw up. Travis, well, he held her hand while basically dragging her across the finish line. Fans didn't see support. They saw a guy who needed to win a race more than he needed to check if the mother of his child was okay. And if you think that's the only red flag floating around, please. People online have been calling out this pattern for years. The very clingy PDA, the constant need to be stuck to her like a human backpack, the rock love aesthetic pushed to the extreme. What some fans once called passionate is now looking a little more like I can't breathe. Then there are the cheating rumors. No solid proof. Nothing's confirmed, but definitely loud enough to make the internet spiral. The claims always follow the same pattern. Travis was seen with a much younger woman. Travis was acting sketchy. Kourtney looked miserable, as always. Again, nothing concrete, but the smoke around this relationship could trigger a fire alarm, honestly. And don't even get people started on the isolation theories. I mean, there are fans who swear he's pulling her away from her family. They point to her distance from the Kardashians, her sudden shift into his lifestyle, his routines, his pace. Some people think the dynamic went from romantic to controlling real fast. Now, to be fair, Travis has said Kourtney saved him, that she made him feel alive again, that she's the calm to his chaos. But depending on how you look at it, I mean, that can either be really sweet or the preface to an emotional chokehold, because here is the truth. When one person sets the pace, makes the decisions, and controls the energy, it stops being an equal partnership. It becomes something really unbalanced, something that looks a lot like a trap, wearing matching leather jackets. I mean, I'm not here calling this relationship confirmed toxic. I'm just saying there are enough flashing red signs to, pull the emergency brake and ask, if you were Kourtney, would you still call this love, or would you call it a warning? Maybe she's in it for love. Maybe she believes in second chances. Maybe she's trying to create stability for her kids. But from the outside, between the pressure, the rumors, the imbalance, and the constant intensity, this doesn't look like a fairy tale anymore. It looks like the kind of story that starts with soulmates and ends with, girl, why didn't you leave sooner? And if nothing changes, if he doesn't slow down, if she keeps shrinking to fit his world, then the real headline won't be Travis forever. It'll be Kourtney Kardashian was trapped in plain sight. Are Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble headed for Splitsville? Maybe. And is he planning to blackmail the Kardashians? Also a maybe. maybe? Well, let's dig into it. All right, buckle up, because we've got a Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble showdown that's giving Keeping Up with the Kardashians real-life drama vibes. But this time, it's kind of less reality TV and more like reality threat. Word on the street is that Kris and her longtime boyfriend, Corey, are teetering on the edge of a breakup. But here's where it gets a little juicy. Apparently, the split isn't happening clean. Corey isn't just walking away, he's allegedly demanding some serious compensation for the hell he says he's endured over the years. And if Kris doesn't pay up, well, he might just spill some family secrets. Yeah, we're talking blackmail level drama. Every source says the relationship has been hanging on literally by a thread for a while now. Picture it, I mean, every event, every night out ends with tension. It's practically routine at this point. And we're not talking about behind closed doors drama that is happening in public in front of Hollywood royalty. I mean, you know, at Jeff Bezos' wedding in Venice last month, things apparently got really heated between them, but that was just a warm-up act. I mean, fast forward to Beyonce's Cowboy Carter concert in Vegas on July 26th, and Kris and Corey were back at it again. I mean, they had a blow-up in the VIP section. Kris stormed off, and Corey was left visibly agitated. And who had to step in? Well, none other than Khloe Kardashian, trying to calm Corey down before things spiraled even further. One insider even said Kris has this habit of kind of ridiculing Corey in public, making him the punchline of all her jokes. And he's finally just had enough, which is fair. I mean, he doesn't want to be her doormat anymore, and now everyone's getting a front row seat to the tension. But here's the kicker. Corey isn't just hurt, he wants his payday. I mean, he's been in Kris's life for nearly a decade, and according to him, he's played every role you can possibly imagine. Protector, business partner, assistant, confidant, lover, the glue that's kept the family together during some of their wildest storms. And now he's basically saying, well, where's my cut? Let's not forget, before Corey entered Kris's world, he had his own career. I mean, he was a respected talent manager with connections in the music industry, and he put all of that on pause to step into the whole Kardashian-Jenner circus. From his perspective, he gave up a promising career, endured public shade, and sacrificed his own path to support Kris. Now with the relationship unraveling, he feels he deserves to be made whole. What are we actually watching here? Well, is this just a messy breakup, a business negotiation disguised as a relationship, or a power play where secrets become bargaining chips? Honestly, it feels like all of the above to me. And this is where it gets scary for Kris, because if Corey really does spill the tea, we're talking Kardashian secrets that could rattle the entire empire. This isn't just about Kris losing her boyfriend, it's about potentially losing control of her family's carefully crafted narrative. So get your popcorn, because this isn't ending quietly. I mean, Corey's demands, Kris's empire, and the looming threat of exposed secrets, this saga could reshape the Kardashian dynasty. Does North West hate her mother's boyfriends? Apparently so. Okay, so the most ruthless fashion critic of our generation isn't on Project Runway. It's a 12-year-old with Wi-Fi, and yes, I'm talking about North West. On an episode of The Kardashians, North proved once again that she does not care about your feelings, your couture, or your man, especially not your man. We all remember when Kim Kardashian was dating Pete Davidson, right? Well, they were a very unexpected couple, the Skims mogul and the human embodiment of, you know, a Staten Island group chat. It started after their kiss on Saturday Night Live, and suddenly Pete was like everywhere. Red carpets, paparazzi shots, and yes, family proximity. Now, fast forward, remember, to the Met Gala era, Pete shows up solo in 2023 wearing what only can be described as off-duty gas station chic, and North, well, she was watching because, you know, of course she was. Now in the episode, Kim is getting ready for her Met Gala look, dripping in pearls, very couture, very dramatic. North is there for the fitting, and instead of hyping her mom up like a normal child, you know, would or should, she goes full fashion police. She tells Kim the pearls look fake. She says it looks like it's from the dollar store. I mean, the dollar store, like, you know, on a look that costs more than most people's rent for like a whole year. That alone would have been enough to trend, right? But then Kim reveals that when Pete appeared at the Met Gala, North and her cousin Penelope Disick saw photos of him and immediately started roasting him. And North didn't whisper. I mean, she didn't even hesitate. She said, "You're going to the Met Gala, Pete, not the gas station." Now that wasn't shade, that was like a total solar eclipse. And here's what makes it even wilder, because this wasn't some bitter, dramatic meltdown. It was delivered with the confidence of someone who genuinely believes she is correct correct, because in North's world, I mean, fashion is very serious for her. Standards are high, and if you show up underdressed to the biggest fashion event of the year, you will be humbled publicly. Now, Kim, in true mom mode, tried to gently explain that, you don't have to hate on people for no reason, like be a little nicer. But let's be real, the internet heard that gas station line and collectively decided North is officially that girl. Now, to be clear, this isn't some deep family feud. I mean, Pete and Kim dated for about 9 months. By all accounts, it ended respectfully-ish, I think. There's no evidence of North, kind of staging some anti-Pete campaign. This was a fashion critique, a ruthless one, but, nonetheless. And honestly, it's the way North delivers it that makes it kind of iconic. I mean, she critiques her mom's look, she critiques her mom's friends, she critiques architecture, she critiques vibes, and everything, probably. I mean, nobody is safe, not even the man who once dated her mother. I mean, what's fascinating is watching this next generation of celebrity kids grow up fully aware of the spotlight. North isn't shy. I mean, she knows cameras are there, she knows people are watching, and she still says exactly what she thinks. No PR training, no filter, just vibes and honesty. And the internet eats it up every single time, because in a world where celebrities rehearse apologies for weeks, watching a then 10-year-old North casually dismantle a Met Gala look in one sentence, it feels, I don't know, a little refreshing. Maybe brutal, but refreshing. So does North West hate all of Kim Kardashian's boyfriends? Hate might be a strong word, and who knows? And who cares, right? You love who you love.
Kendall Jenner's plastic surgery is supposedly failing, or at least that's what social media thinks. Fans say her cheeks look overfilled, her jawline more angular, and she appears unrecognizable. Kendall denies surgery, saying makeup and lighting explain the changes, but fans online aren't too convinced.
Moving on to Khloe, she's been lying about her looks for years. Khloe Kardashian flat out denied a nose job for years, crediting contouring until she admitted it on camera. "I've had one nose job." She revealed it happened in 2019 and thanked Dr. Raj Kanodia for the work. Before that moment, she said it was all makeup and lighting tricks. While she framed her earlier silence as "no one ever asked," critics say framing was a strategic lie to keep up appearances. Kim has had many accusations of plastic surgery as well.
Fans think Kim Kardashian is hiding her face after a secret surgery. She walked into the 2025 gala wearing a nude Maison Margiela gown and a full face mask that covered every inch, and social media is flooded with questions. What's she hiding? Is it pure fashion stunt or an intentional disguise?
The sister with the most plastic surgery, though, is Kylie. Kylie Jenner's appearance has been a huge topic of debate for years, and many fans now think the reality star may have taken cosmetic procedures too far. Kylie first sparked worldwide speculation back in 2015 when her lips suddenly looked dramatically fuller. After months of rumors, she eventually admitted she had lip fillers, saying she was insecure about the size of her lips when she was younger. But that wasn't the only change people noticed. Over the years, fans have pointed out major differences in her face and body compared to when she first appeared on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, fueling endless plastic surgery rumors online. Kylie has denied many of those claims, insisting she has not had major facial reconstruction surgeries and that makeup, lighting, and fillers can drastically change someone's appearance. However, she has confirmed at least one surgical procedure, revealing that she had breast augmentation at just 19 years old, something she later admitted she regrets and wishes she had waited to do. Despite her explanations, critics still debate how much cosmetic work she's really had done, pointing to dramatic before and after photos circulating across social media. Their mother, Kris Jenner, has the most work done of them all. Kris Jenner is back in the spotlight, but this time it's not for just being the momager, it's for what she did to her face. First, let's talk about her viral facelift. Kris, now around 70, went under the knife again in 2025 for a major facelift, and people cannot stop talking about it. She worked with a well-known NYC plastic surgeon and came out looking noticeably smoother, tighter, and almost unrecognizable compared to photos just months earlier. She even said she did it to feel like the best version of herself. But that facelift has turned into a whole conversation online for two big reasons. One, it made her look so different that people actually compared her to her daughters in viral memes. Two, Fans noticed her hands, and people started saying her youthful face doesn't match her aging hands. In fact, people went crazy online with the phrase, "the hands never lie," because some pics showed her hands looking much older than her face, which fueled rumors that she might even go after hand rejuvenation surgery next. Truth is, Kris Jenner has been open about cosmetic procedures for decades, but this latest transformation has turned into one of the biggest celebrity surgery conversations online.
In at number 10, Blac Chyna. Blac Chyna's 2017 lawsuit against the Kardashian family will finally be taking place after years of stalling. In her $100 million suit, Chyna accused the family of prematurely ending her reality show, Rob and Chyna, and damaging her reputation by claims they made in the media. The planned 10-day trial comes years after the initial filing, and names Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Rob Kardashian, and Kylie Jenner as being responsible for the demise of the show. Chyna also lists Ryan Seacrest and other producers on the witness list. Chyna claims that Rob and his family wanted to destroy her and her reputation after the breakup. Chyna states that the couple was in the process of filming season 2 of the show, but it was abruptly halted. The Kardashians claim the show ended because Rob and Chyna split, and because Chyna was physically harmful to Rob during their relationship. In at number 9, Kim Kardashian. In May of 2021, it was leaked that Kim Kardashian was being sued by her staff for unpaid wages. And the more you learn, the crazier the claims seem. 7 members of her staff are suing Kim for not providing the workers with meal breaks and failing to cover any expenses incurred on the job. The employees claim that when they were hired, they were told they would be considered full-time employees. But after they started working, they were labeled independent contractors and treated as such. This meant the staff were not given any benefits of full-time employment. Kim is also being sued for, quote, failure to pay overtime wages and for unfair and unlawful business practices. Although Kim's reps claim it's not her fault, as she hired a third-party vendor to handle the maintenance on her property, and they should be suing this vendor, not her. In at number 8, Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner has gotten a lot of backlash because of her tequila company 818, and now some of this backlash has turned into a lawsuit. 818 is being sued by competitor brand Tequila 512 for allegedly ripping off 512's branding. 512 claims in their lawsuit that it's a cheap trick for 818 to copy its shtick by using an area code as its name. 818 is named after the San Fernando Valley, and 512 is Austin. 512 also claims the design and color scheme of the bottles was intentionally made similar to confuse customers. There's even a strange twist in this suit that involves Kim Kardashian. In Kim's mobile app, Kim Kardashian Hollywood, there's an emoji designed for Kendall's 818 tequila brand. But this emoji looks exactly like the 512 brand. Whether the mistake was intentional or not, it gives way to the theory that people easily confuse the two brands. And at number 7, Tristan Thompson. So we all know that Tristan Thompson cheats on Khloe Kardashian a lot. So much so that when any woman comes forward claiming that she hooked up with Tristan, the media generally believes her. However, when Kimberly Alexander accused Tristan of cheating and fathering her child, he took her to court for libel, claiming that was a lie. In the end, the test results determined that it was a lie, and Tristan was awarded $50,000 in damages. She will also have to pay close to $3,000 in court costs. Plus, she will be forced to pay 10% interest until the full amount is paid off. Tristan was seeking $100,000 in damages at the start of the trial, claiming the false allegations he fathered her child hurt his reputation and cost him endorsement deals because companies saw him as a brand hazard. The judge halved the damages because Tristan didn't specifically lay out which endorsements he lost due to Alexander's allegations. And at number 6, Kris Jenner. In 2020, Kris Jenner was hit with an insane lawsuit that claimed that she was inappropriate with a security guard that was hired to watch over her and her family. Kourtney was also involved in this suit, and the bodyguard, Mark McWilliams, claims that both women were inappropriate with him. McWilliams claimed that after being hired in 2017, he became subject to a, quote, pattern of unwanted and unwelcome sexual advances and other harassing misconduct from Kris. Also claiming she made suggestive comments towards him about his appearance and asked him private details of his life. He also claimed that Kris massaged his neck, shoulders, arms, and back without his consent, among other physical contact. Kris's lawyer, Marty Singer, tells TMZ, quote, Kris categorically denies ever behaving inappropriately toward Mark McWilliams. The security guard worked outside the house and he never even went into Kris's home. The Kardashian lawyers claim that McWilliams is a disgruntled employee who was fired after being caught sleeping on the job. Halfway at number 5, Kylie Jenner. Kylie and her beauty brand were dragged into court after she was sued by Seed Beauty, the company that helped her formulate her Kylie Cosmetics products. The lawsuit came about after Kylie sold a majority stake in her company for $600 million to Coty. Seed Beauty believes that the new Coty deal is opening the door for Coty to steal Seed's formulations for themselves. In the documents obtained by TMZ, Seed says they've been providing their valuable recipe to makeup success West to Kylie for years now, and with this new deal, their formulations are at risk of being distributed to Coty, their competition. Sources say the lawsuit is a little ridiculous since the Kardashians are most likely not successful because of their products, rather their insane social media presence. In at number 4, Kylie Jenner. Another lawsuit involving Kylie Jenner is actually on behalf of her daughter, Stormi Webster. Kylie went forward with the suit after a company called Business Moves Consulting filed to trademark, quote, Stormi Couture a month after Kylie and Travis Scott welcomed their baby, Stormi Webster, seemingly trying to take advantage of her name, which is incredibly unique. Kylie also filed her own trademarks for Stormi, including one for Stormy World. But after doing so, she was hit with a lawsuit from the same company, Business Moves, because they claimed that they filed the trademark first for Stormi Couture, and people would be confused. Jenner's asking the trademark office to cancel the other company's trademark because it seems like they only got the trademark to capitalize off of her daughter's name. Kylie says Stormi has, quote, achieved fame in her own right, and points out that her Stormi World birthday parties have been covered by major media outlets like Vogue. As of now, it doesn't seem like there's been any updates on the case. In at number 3, Kanye West. Kanye West was caught up in a lawsuit when a former associate of his was sued for forging Ye's signature. West's former friend and good music associate, Malik Yusuf, was sued by company Gentle Monster for claiming that Kanye West would create a promotional video for this company. Yusuf allegedly scammed the company out of $2.5 million. The company says that Yusuf even set up a meeting between Kanye and a rep for the brand, making it seem like Ye was on board for the whole thing. Kanye allegedly had no clue there was any type of business deal in place. Kanye was also not the only celebrity in this scheme. He also claimed Pharrell, Jaden Smith, and others would help out with this project. Apparently, the scam was an elaborate 9-month plan that included forged signatures and fake invoices to make the documents seem legit. In at number 2, Kim Kardashian. App developer David Liebenson is suing Kim Kardashian for $100 million over her very successful Kimoji app. The developer claims that he and Kim made a joint deal to work on the project together, but she left him high and dry. The plaintiff claims that he and his business partners created an app called Censor Out that caught the attention of Kim, and after she got in touch, they decided to partner on Kimojis. In the legal documents, Kim agreed to give him and his team 60% of the project. But right around when Kim filed for the trademark, she decided to back out of their deal. He's suing Kim for at least $100 million for breach of contract, fraud, and for the profits he believes he's lost out of by being left out of this Kimoji partnership. And finally, at number 1, Kanye West. Kanye West's clothing company, Yeezy Apparel, was sued by Jordan Outdoor Enterprises after the company believed that Ye ripped off their design. Specifically, the company believes that Kanye copied their camo hoodie, camo thigh-high boots, cargo pants, hooded bomber jackets, shirts, and boots. The lawsuit claims that Jordan has distinctive markings on its Realtree line, and Kanye's companies ripped them off. To make things even shadier, the suit alleges that a rep from Yeezy contacted Jordan about using his camo patterns. But when Jordan said that Yeezy had to license these items, Kanye's reps all of a sudden stopped responding. Then, surprise surprise, Yeezy comes out with very similar camo patterns. Jordan Outdoor Enterprises is suing for damages, but also wants to stop Yeezy from selling the products in the future and to turn over any unsold inventory. In a statement, Kanye's camp said, quote, "There's nothing original or protectable about the Jordan outdoor gear in question. It's unclear if this lawsuit has been resolved."
At number 10, bribes. At this point, we all know that the Kardashians have a my way or the highway kind of attitude. They will get what they want by any means necessary, and we've seen this a few times over the Kardashians' respective careers, but one of the lesser known times that this sort of attitude came out was when Kris Jenner was trying to save her short-lived talk show. Mama Jenner dreamed of being a talk show host, but those dreams were sort of crushed when her talk show premiered in the summer of 2013. She got a series of reviews, and when she read them, she came across one that she really didn't like. One reviewer named Linda Stassi from the New York Post wrote a column about the show and called Kris a, quote, "a demented Norma Desmond," end quote. Well, because Kris didn't like what Linda had wrote about her, she decided to send the writer a bribe of a dozen Magnolia cupcakes and a $325 sterling silver pen from Tiffany's, along with a note saying to write a better review next time. In the end though, this bribe didn't actually work because her show was cancelled not long after. At number 9, sweatshops. The Kardashians have faced backlash and scandal many times in the past, so really they're nothing new, but one of their more extreme scandals came from when one of their many clothing brands got exposed. In 2011, a Kardashian clothing brand came under fire after it was revealed that the garments were being produced by Chinese workers being paid 8 cents a day. Can you imagine these millionaires paying workers 8 cents? Insane, right? A non-profit organization called China Labor Watch, a group that fights sweatshops, released this information during investigation into the Kardashian brand. Of course, Mama Jenner came in and stepped in, and she claimed that they didn't know anything about that, going on to say, quote, "The factories are very well policed and meet factory standards," end quote. No one is talking about the factory standards, Chris. We're talking about basically not paying people for making clothes that you're about to sell for $100 a piece. That's the tea. Before we carry on dishing about the Kardashian secrets though, why not take a quick moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, maybe consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Kardashian divorce. Remember when Kim K was married to Kris Humphries? Yeah, that was kind of a blip in the Kardashian timeline, but hey, it still happened. They were only married for 72 days, but it was still messy, and their subsequent divorce was just as messy. The cameras for their show Keeping Up with the Kardashians showed off much of their tumultuous marriage, but the cameras were ultimately cut when it came to their divorce, but it wasn't for lack of trying. Kim wanted to film her goodbye call with Kris over Skype, where she was going to say her final farewells and tell him that she really loved him. But Kris saw right through Kim's attempt to get content out of their divorce and flat out refused, saying that he refused to ever be on another episode ever again. Honestly, I can't blame him for making that decision. At number 7, Nanny Knows. The Kardashians have been exposed for a lot over the years by countless people. Honestly, this could be its own video in and of itself, if we haven't already done that. Anyways, one of the people that joined the Exposing the Kardashians club was the family's former nanny. The nanny, a woman named Pam Behan, exposed Kris for her parenting. Although Kris looks like a cool, fun mom, almost acting like one of the Kardashian sisters rather than a parent, according to the nanny, that is all a charade and couldn't be farther from the truth. Turns out that Kris was actually a really mean mom. She said that all of the girls were really shallow and even exposed Kris for being mean to Khloe and criticizing her for being overweight. On top of that, according to the nanny, Kris was also a stickler for healthy foods, saying that she was obsessed with keeping produce in the house, and she even exposed her for having a meltdown when she forgot to pick up broccoli. Now that is a very different side of Kris Jenner that we never get to see. At number 6, private investigator. Back to past Kardashian relationships. Remember when Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom were a thing? Yeah, super messy, as most Kardashian marriages tend to be, but this one was ultra messy because it turned out that at one point, Khloe hired a private investigator to follow Lamar around to watch if he was cheating on Khloe. This was something that we didn't get to see on the family's reality show, but apparently the private investigator was hired to catch Lamar with at least 5 different mistresses. But why put all this effort into a supposed cheater? Well, it turns out that there was a specific clause in their prenuptial agreement that if one of them was caught cheating, then the divorce settlement payout would be larger to the other party. This means that with the help of her private investigator, Khloe would be able to get a higher settlement in the divorce. The things people do for money. At number 5, who started the show? The family's reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians has been on air for so long that it almost feels like it has been on TV forever. Obviously, it wasn't actually on TV since like the beginning of time, but it was certainly a staple in a lot of people's homes. This show really boosted the careers of all of the Kardashians, but who had the original idea for the show? Well, that's up for debate. According to Caitlyn Jenner, she wrote in her book that she was the one who came up with the initial idea for the reality show, not Kris, as many were led to believe. In the memoir, Caitlyn wrote that she told Kris about her idea for the show, saying, quote, "The house is awash in puberty and adolescence and young adulthood, and 2 parents with very different styles. It seems to me something is there for television," end quote. She then goes on to say that Kris then claimed to have come up with the idea for the show and then took it upon herself to pitch the show to Ryan Seacrest, and the rest is history. Talk about starting things off on a sour note. At number 4, Always Perfect. Kylie and Kendall Jenner are the babies of the Kar Jenner clan, and they were pretty young when they started to rise to fame. Because the cameras were always on them, and because they were starting to gain notoriety on their own, their mom Kris decided that they needed to look perfect at all times to make themselves and the family look better in the eyes of the media. In an interview with Cosmopolitan in 2017, Kylie opened up about this dynamic in her young life and revealed that Kris Jenner had nail techs come to the house every week to do the girls' nails to make sure that they looked as perfect as possible. Kylie said that because this was ingrained in her from such a young age, that this just became a habit of hers even going into her adult life, which is why we see Kylie flexing her new nails on the gram. In the interview, she went into further detail about having to look put together all the time, where she said, quote, "My mom would make us do it. She would have a nail artist come to the house once a week. She would make us get our nails done. She was like, "You are never going to look like you're not put together, so we're always getting them done." End quote. At number 3, fake homes. You know how on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, when they start a new scene in a new place, they show the front of the person's house? Well, it turns out that's kind of a lie. The houses that they show in the reality show aren't actually the Kardashians' real houses. In the beginning, they used to show the front of the Kardashians' houses, but soon it became a safety issue as it made it easy for people to find them. Kim opened up about why they decided to use fake houses instead of their real exteriors, saying, quote, "My old home in Beverly Hills was really my home, and I would get people showing up at all hours ringing my gate, and I had to call the police on several occasions. People hopping the gate and scaring me. It was so unsafe. The Hollywood Star Tours would stop by too because they recognized my home from our show. After that, we realized how unsafe it was to show the exterior of our homes, so now we use different homes for the outside for security purposes." Though they do use different homes as the exterior shots, Kim did confirm that they do actually film inside of their real houses. At number 2, original goal. Keeping Up with the Kardashians became a mega hit where people just tuned in to watch the drama unfold with the Kardashians. I would be lying if I said that this show wasn't secretly my guilty pleasure. It's just so chaotic and I love it. But it turns out that the original purpose for the show wasn't just to simply keep up with the Kardashians. They had ulterior motives. According to Mama Kris Jenner, the original purpose for the show was to bring attention to the Kardashians' clothing stores Dash and Smoosh. Their store Dash became the focal point for their reality show spin-offs like Kourtney and Khloe Take Miami and Dash Dolls. During an interview with Variety in 2015, Kim shared how they wanted to use the show to grow their business, saying, quote, "When the opportunity for our TV show came about, I wanted to do it to bring attention to our stores. I was thinking this might not last very long, but will grow a great business and expand online. I thought it would be great press. I didn't think it would turn into what it turned into." End quote. Their stores ended up closing in 2018, but at that point they had so many other things going on and the show wasn't even boosting their business anymore, so really, who cares? And finally, at number 1, new phones. Even a pandemic can't stop the Kardashians from creating content. The 19th season of the reality show was filmed over the course of the lockdown, and it was all done from the inside of the Kardashians' mansions. How they managed to pull all of this off is a little crazy though. Because camera crews weren't considered to be essential workers during California's stay-at-home orders, the Kardashians had to get creative, and so they created a system where every week someone would bring them a new iPhone to film on. They had proper sets built in Kim and Khloe's homes with lighting and the whole 9 yards for their confessionals, but yeah, I still can't get past the iPhone thing. Apparently, a showrunner wearing head-to-toe protective gear would come to the Kardashians' home on Monday morning to bring them a brand new iPhone to start the next cycle of filming.
And at number 10, Kim Kardashian's tape. This is truly the scandal that started it all, and the Kardashians arguably would not be where they are today without the release of this tape. Right before Keeping Up with the Kardashians was set to air on E!, the intimate tape of Kim and her then boyfriend Ray J was leaked to the public and went insanely viral. The Kardashians got in a legal battle to try and get it under control, but it didn't work, and the tape was eventually sold to a media company and released. Kim said about the tape in a 2012 interview, quote, "I'm not naive to the fact that that's pretty much how I was introduced to the world. It was a negative way, so I felt like I really had to work 10 times harder to get people to see the real me. I felt humiliated." In the years since its release, it's been long rumored that the Kardashian family leaked the tape themselves to drum up publicity and a storyline for the show. And if that's the case, it totally worked. And at number 9, Kylie Jenner's lips. Kylie Jenner was once considered the ugly duckling of the Jenner sisters, and she was not treated the same way as the rest of her family. Because of her insecurities, she's gotten a lot of procedures and has become unrecognizable from her former self. However, following all these procedures, she is now considered one of the most beautiful women in the world. Kylie's first procedure was lip injections, and it was hard to deny that there was a huge difference in the size of her lips basically overnight. At first, she denied it and claimed it was all lip liner, but the public isn't stupid, and we all knew it was a lie. Then later in 2017, she decided to fess up to the change and admitted she got lip filler because of an insecurity about the size of her lips. Later, she turned all the talk about her lips into a $1 billion business, selling her Kylie lip kits, which was the first of its kind. In at number 8, Kim and Kris Humphries' 72-day marriage. Kim's lavish wedding was considered the wedding of the century, and there was even a 2-part special created on E! To celebrate the big day. But since so much content was created out of the relationship, many questioned if the whole thing was just for show. Those accusations got even worse when it was revealed that Kim filed for divorce only 72 days after their lavish wedding. Kris even sued Kim at one point, claiming the relationship was fraudulent just for press. However, Kim clarified on a May 2017 appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen that she knew the marriage was doomed from the beginning. Quote, "I just thought, holy shit, I'm 30 years old, I better get this together, I better get married." And at number 7, Lamar Odom cheated on Khloe. This one truly breaks my heart because Khloe and Lamar were one of my favorite couples of all time. But sadly, this was when Khloe's bad luck with men would really start. It was revealed that during their marriage, Lamar cheated on Khloe countless times. They were married from 2009 to 2016, and in that time Lamar claims he slept with hundreds of women. He claimed later that he had a sex addiction. Khloe shared her thoughts on the news in a 2016 interview with Howard Stern. Khloe said, quote, "I was genuinely blown away. Like, when did he fit that in? I don't know." Then in an interview Lamar did in 2017, he revealed that after he got married to Khloe, women came out of the woodwork to try and be with him. Lamar added, quote, "If there's one thing I regret when I was married, it was having multiple affairs with different women. That wasn't the stand-up thing to do." Lamar later said he would get back with Khloe in a heartbeat. And at number 6, Kendall Jenner's Pepsi ad. Being in a Pepsi ad is a really high honor, and tons of celebrities like Michael Jackson and Cindy Crawford had the honor to be a part of one. So when the opportunity was presented to Kendall Jenner, she jumped at the chance. But it ended up causing the biggest scandal of her entire career. She was a part of a protest-themed ad in 2017 because at that time the Black Lives Matter movement was being heavily discussed in the media, and there was a lot of tension between protesters and law enforcement. But of course, using an important social movement to sell a can of soda rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and Pepsi and Kendall got tons of backlash. Pepsi pulled the commercial and issued an apology, while Jenner told Vogue in March of 2018 that her quote intention was not to hurt anyone, but it's still a huge stain on her reputation. Halfway number 5, Kendall and Kylie's t-shirts. One of the many business ventures the Kardashians developed was a clothing line for Kendall and Kylie, simply named after themselves. The clothing line was pretty successful until the girls released an incredibly insensitive t-shirt showcasing the faces of deceased artists like the Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur. After the release in 2017, Biggie's mother, Valletta Wallace, called the sisters out on Instagram, writing, quote, "The disrespect of these girls to not even reach out to me or anyone connected to the estates baffles me." Paris Jackson also commented on how tone-deaf the release was. Paris took to Twitter and wrote in part, quote, "As a huge fan of Led Zeppelin, The Doors, Floyd, I mean these bands literally helped shape who I am today. I can't condone this fashion. Legends like these who completely changed our world today, not just the music world, should be respected and honored, not turned into this." A photographer who shot one of the images also filed a lawsuit against the Jenners, but it was dropped in April of 2018, and the sisters pulled the shirts almost immediately. And at number 4, Kim's blackface scandal. Cultural appropriation and blackfishing are something the Kardashians are called out for pretty often. The worst backlash on this subject was when Kim released a campaign for KKW Beauty, and fans accused her of blackface. This is because in the photo, her skin color was significantly darker than what we usually see. Kim immediately took down the photos and apologized. She later told the New York Times, quote, "I would obviously never want to offend anyone. I used an amazing photographer and a team of people. I was really tan when we shot the images, and it might be that contrast was off." Kim then re-edited the photos to be more natural, and the launch went off without a hitch. And at number 3, Tristan Thompson cheats on Khloe. Sadly, cheating is something that Khloe has had to deal with throughout her entire relationship with Tristan. At first, when they got together, everyone was thrilled and he seemed like a great guy. But then, right before Khloe was set to give birth in 2018, leaked videos showed that Tristan was out cheating on Khloe at a club. At the time, she was 9 months pregnant, and sadly she learned that he was nothing but a cheater who was not ready for commitment. A source close to Thompson told us exclusively, quote, "None of his friends are surprised by this and they all know that he cheats." Then more photos came out showing him taking a girl into his hotel room late at night, meaning this was clearly a pattern and not the first time. Khloe decided to stay with Tristan for the sake of her family, but this would not be the last time that he publicly embarrassed her. And at number 2, Tristan cheats on Khloe again. The phrase "once a cheater, always a cheater" is most fitting here, because after getting back with Khloe, Tristan cheated once again. To make matters worse, he cheated with close family friend of the Kardashians, Jordyn Woods. After this, Khloe was quick to call it quits. A source said, quote, This time it hurts even more because the person who it was with is someone who knows very much what Khloe has gone through in the past year. A second insider said that Thompson is, quote, just a cheater and doesn't care about anyone besides himself, his wants and his needs in the moment. Jordan went on Red Table Talk after the scandal and confessed they did kiss, but nothing more. Then unfortunately, after some time apart, Tristan and Khloe got back together in August of 2020, but have split again since. And finally at number 1, Kanye's presidential run. This scandal is unfortunate because at first it had nothing to do with the Kardashians, but during one of Kanye's campaign rallies, he spilled some major secrets about his relationship with Kim. The worst was when Kanye exposed that he and Kim almost terminated the pregnancy with their first child, North. A source told Us Weekly that the Skims founder was, quote, deeply upset with Kanye for talking about their personal life and for making matters that are very personal to them and their family public. Then Kanye went off on Twitter, revealing even more secrets and even accusing Kim of cheating with rapper Meek Mill. 6 months later, Kim filed for divorce. Apparently, the pair had been living separate lives for many months, and Kim was just done dealing with Kanye's unpredictable behavior.
Number 10, worst of the bunch. Of all the members of the clan, Kendall Jenner has been consistently brought up as simultaneously the most relatable and the meanest. She may take up the most points on this list all by her lonesome. As the first and probably most minor complaint against her, a TikTok video where a fan recalled meeting Kim Kardashian in New York City also happened to throw shade at Kendall at the same time. In the video, the TikToker praised Kim for being, quote, the most polite celebrity I've ever met. Talking about the celebrities that she has met, the TikToker said, quote, including Kendall, who I can't say the same about. It was interesting how when the conversation was about Kendall specifically, the TikToker made note that, quote, Kendall could learn a thing or two. The post made its way to Reddit where other fans joined in on the conversation and their opinions on Kendall. One user wrote, Kendall has always just given me that reserved, wiry, shy but rude kind of vibe on the show. I wasn't sure if that was her in character. There was also one commenter that claimed to not know a single Keeping Up with the Kardashians fan who had a positive experience when meeting Kendall Jenner in real life. And here's an example of that very thing. Number 9, no tip for you. Back in 2014, a waitress accused Kendall Jenner of skipping out on a $60 bill and not leaving a tip. But wait, when the waitress allegedly chased after Kendall Jenner to get the money, Kendall turned around and threw cash in the woman's face and then laughed. It doesn't even sound like real life. The waitress then took to Twitter saying, quote, that horrible moment when you chase a Kardashian down the street because she forgot to pay her bill to be thrown money in your face. Kendall did respond to the rumors, but by calling them ridiculous, and she then had her lawyers whip up a cease and desist letter to the server. Nothing kinda says guilt like an instant cease and desist letter. I wouldn't know, I'm just thinking that's what it's like. 3 years later though, Kendall was also not a good customer at a bar in Brooklyn when a server posted a since deleted picture of a bill for just $24 that Kendall had signed but left the tip field blank. Now Kendall responded to this one as well, but by saying that she paid it in cash, but the bar accused her of lying. What are your thoughts on tipping? I know that it's one of the main benefits of waiting tables or bartending, so to skip out on that for me is pretty vile. Number 8, Sugar Factory. All those many years ago, back in 2016, Kendall's younger sister, Kylie Jenner, was at the opening of Sugar Factory in Orlando, Florida. For her arrival, Kylie had around 3,000 of her fans waiting for her, only for them to apparently be disappointed. The official press release from Sugar Factory themselves, of course, had almost entirely positive things to say surrounding the opening and Kylie's participation in it, but one publication, Star Magazine, seemed to see things a little differently. Coming from an insider source, the magazine got reports that Kylie's appearance at the opening was actually, quote, a huge disappointment, and that apparently she was rude to the majority of her fans. Star Magazine stated that apparently the youngest of the Kardashians/Jenners apparently showed up to the event an hour late, and if that weren't bad enough, she only stayed for about 5 minutes to take a few selfies and then just dipped on out of there, leaving fans dissatisfied and disappointed. Number 7, fitness. For a period of time in like the mid-2010s, Khloe Kardashian was pretty heavily focused on her fitness and getting into shape. Hell yeah, we love living healthily. But going along with that time in her life, Khloe would often post her workouts on social media, specifically Snapchat, for fans to follow along to and get themselves in shape alongside the celebrity. But As usually is the case, there was criticism, and some fans didn't think the videos were all that good. Well, Khloe understandably snapped back on Snapchat in 2017. With the pottiest of potty mouths, she addressed the seemingly impossible to please fans, saying, quote, "What bothers me so much about people is that I'm giving you guys my workouts on my snaps for free." She continued on, quote, "Why the F are you still complaining and saying, if I had a trainer, if I had a gym? Well, I don't have a gym. We're doing everything outside. I'm showing you guys how to do the workouts so you don't need a trainer. I'm using everything that I'm sure you guys have around the house or could improvise. What the F?" To be completely honest, I actually kind of agree with her. To complain that the videos she made out to share her experience and to try and help people who want to work out aren't good enough is kind of just a little rude. But then again, she also said if only complaining burned calories, you guys would be some healthy I can't say the whole of the sentence, but you get what I'm saying? Kinda weighing it out. Number 6, nobodies. Now, we all need to just sit back and take this one with a little itty tiny bitty grain of salt. When a magazine uses the words insider source, more than half the time, it's just someone off the internet or someone who is not actually an insider, and therefore their statements cannot be taken as fact. It's also worth noting that most people have found Kim to be the nicest person of the family when meeting fans. But, that being said, Kim Kardashian allegedly calls her fans stupid little nobodies. According to Star magazine, in 2012, an insider source, quote unquote, told the publication that, quote, Kris has text and voicemails from Kim where she calls her audience gullible, ouch, stupid imbeciles, ooh, boring little nobodies, yikes, and pathetic people with no lives of their own. Mic drop. Ouch, my feelings are hurt. I'm not a fan, but my feelings are still hurt. Don't be so rude. If you didn't actually say those things though, I'm sorry. And you're great, Kim. You're a great person. Number 5. Well then, I'm sure that most of us can agree that social media, but specifically Twitter, is a cesspool of meme lords, trolls, and keyboard warriors. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Twitter is like a breeding ground for hot takes, upsetting political stances, taking shots at famous people who would never normally give you the time of day, and, apparently, wannabe sports commentators. Those very same sport fans found a way to both comment on the state of the Cleveland Cavaliers and take shots at Khloe Kardashian in one swift move. One Twitter user tweeted, presumably as a joke, quote, Cavs haven't been playing too well since Khloe Kardashian. Just saying. That's because Khloe had been in a toxic as hell relationship with Tristan Thompson, who was playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. For the record though, it was Tristan that was the toxic one, but in defense of her boo and the team he plays for, Khloe decided to clap back, and in her well-worded rebuttal, Khloe tweeted, quote, they are number 1 in their conference, but thanks for sucking my expletive. Hard enough to think I have that much power. Lick on my expletive while you're at it. I think we can all agree Khloe is truly a wizard of words. A true poet, I think. Very nice. Very good. Number 4, selfie. Last year, Hulu's Victoria's Secret documentary was available for the world to watch, but one clip from the documentary in particular caught some attention, and it was Kendall Jenner, back again, being a true Scorpio. It's a very short clip, but essentially the scene sees Kendall sitting on what looks like a makeup chair with a silk pink robe on, and a group of fans behind her. Basically, Kendall reaches back, takes a phone from one of the fans, snaps a couple selfies, and then hands it back. That's all that happened, but the whole thing was just so funny because, other than the brief moment where she smiled for the selfie, Kendall was not just straight-faced, but she had the stank face on. The one where you really just ain't there to even pretend to be nice to people. That kind of face. I feel like we all know what we're talking about. The fan looked like she was being silently told off when Kendall handed that phone back, and when Kendall turns back to camera with this annoyed eyebrow raise kind of thing, she looks like she wishes she would be anywhere else. Of course, the clip made its way to Twitter where people voiced their thoughts, like this one person who tweeted, quote, this clip of Kendall from the Hulu Victoria's Secret doc really says a lot about who she probably is. Someone on Reddit added, quote, that eyebrow raise and look of annoyance is irritating my soul. One more person did make a good point though when they wrote, it is actually disgusting. They forget that the fans are the reason they have what they have. And that is primarily kinda true, ain't it? Number 3, not in the mood. Now look, being a celebrity, having people wanting to take pictures with you all the time can be very exhausting, and celebrities have every right to say no when they don't want to take pictures with their fans. Point blank. Just as every person is allowed to say they don't want to pose for a picture. In an episode of Kourtney and Khloe Take the Hamptons, Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick are off taking a casual ride through his childhood neighborhood in an old convertible. As is bound to happen, a few girls end up noticing them at a stop sign and they ask if they can take a picture with the stars. Scott was all for it, saying sure, but Kourtney quickly follows up with no! And they continued on with their drive through memory lane. Now Scott apologized to the fans saying, "Alright, sorry," she said no, as they drove off, and Scott is like, "That's not very nice," and she explains she simply didn't want to get out of the car and that she's quote, "not in the mood for a pic." Honestly, fair, she doesn't have to be, but I think she could have maybe been just like a wee bit nicer about it. I don't know. What do you think? Number 2, best spot in the shade. Ever been asked to move so a celeb can take a photo shoot where you were comfortably chillin'? Well, a TikToker by the name of Lizudel called out Kim Kardashian for allegedly booting her out of this really chill area at Revolve Festival that was right by a lake with like really nice grass, some decent shade, and it had like a fire pit. It was a good spot to get, but it was also a great spot for a photo shoot, and that's exactly what Kim wanted it for. The caption in the clip says, quote, "Right before Kim K kicked us out of this shady chill spot at Revolve," with the caption accompanying the clips reading, "Much love to your photo shoot," which is kind of like passive aggressive, so obviously the TikToker was a little peeved about it, but to be completely fair, reactions in the comments were pretty mixed. Some folks agreed and thought that it was messed up for Kim Kardashian to ask anyone to move, but others made a good point. Kim was promoting the brand Revolve that were running the festival in the first place, so these fans reasoned that it's fair that Kim gets to choose where she wants the photos taken. One comment read, quote, "Well duh, they invited influencers. Nobody knows who you are. They're gonna make you move." And that actually seemed to make a little bit of sense to a lot of people and to me as well, to be perfectly honest, but at the same time, when an area is available publicly for everyone, being expected to move so that Kim Kardashian can take a photo, it kinda sucks. Number 1, even at the airport. We gotta end the list with Kendall Jenner yet again. I'm so sorry. There are just so many more instances of Kendall being less than great with people as there are for any of the other Kardashians. As part of an ongoing series, a former LAX employee has been taking to TikTok, ranking her experiences with some of the many celebrities she's crossed paths with during her years working at the airport. Kendall Jenner was one of those celebrities, and the TikTok did not paint her in a great picture. The former employee described her interactions with Kendall saying, quote, "Every time she flew out, she was not really friendly to anybody and just walked around like really arrogant." Then she slapped Kendall with a 2 out of 10 rating. 2 is pretty good, right? It's 1 more than 1 and 2 more than 0, so I'd say that's something. This TikTok pretty heavily reminds me of the first and second point on this list. I promise I don't have anything against Kendall, she just seems to be the one who consistently gets called out for being a little unsavory with employees and general people. While it's possible these are just instances of negative experiences staffers had with Kendall, the consistency of the bad experiences, coupled with all that we have seen from Kendall and everyone else, doesn't paint a great picture of her or anyone's character.